What's up, guys? Heroes3TN back with yet another video. So, in this video, give me a moment. I want to turn off this little fan. Let me turn them both off. Okay, all right. So, in this video, I want to talk about how powerful MCU Sentry is. He is quite literally the strongest hero in the current, in the current MCU, right? He's stronger than Captain Marvel. He's stronger than Vision. He's stronger than Thor. And I'm going to prove it all to you right now, right? Now, I know you guys are probably thinking, oh, Sentry's not that powerful. He has no feats. I disagree. A lot of his feats are implied, and a lot of his feats are in forms of statements, but I'll explain why we'll accept those. Okay, so for starters, when he took an experimental serum, right? When Sentry was escaping the lab with Yelena and John Walker, and Ghost, of course, he caused a distraction, and he went and he shot a gun, and all the soldiers shot their guns at him. These were all high caliber, high powered round military style assault rifles. He got up without a single issue. Then he took off into the air. Now, he didn't have full control over his powers then, and Sentry, while high in the air, fell and plummeted to the earth, but he survived. And he caused a massive crater, which caused a massive shockwave. I mean, him just falling. The impact from him falling caused a shockwave that overturned military vehicles or pushed them a great distance, took out, dozens upon dozens of soldiers, knocked them off their feet. No, it did turn over a military vehicle, because the vehicle that Yelena and them was driving was knocked off of a cliff. The shockwave from him falling from the air, he fell from such great distance that it created a shockwave that knocked a heavy military, transport vehicle, which weighs several tons, off of a cliff while it was on the ground. Now you say, oh, well, I mean, that's nothing. Actually, not true, because we saw that Sentry was when he was arguing with John Walker at first. John Walker actually pushed Sentry up against the wall, and there was nothing Sentry could do. Compare this to when he began to really come into his powers, and he was taking punches, and everyone, the Thunderbolts were trying to push him around, but they couldn't move him. So Sentry was not at his fullest here, but yet he survived the fall from that high up. Now, sure, this fall pales in comparison to Captain Marvel's fall in her movie, but I mean, like I said, this is just Sentry when he's just getting started. Then we get to the Thunderbolts fight. Admittedly, it would have been better had he had more heavy hitters here, but had there been heavy hitters to fight him, say like a Red Hulk, maybe even a Vision. I don't see why they couldn't get Vision, but still, Sentry was easily able to no-sell punches from super soldiers, beings who can send men in full military gear flying with a single punch or a single kick. He seems to have some type of automatic force field, or he was catching and incinerating bullets before they could hit him in knives, which is another thing. Sentry, and we'll get into it later, but he has a vast amount of powers, right? But he was taking all type, like Red Guardian picked up a stool or pipe or something, hit him, and did nothing. Like Sentry just no-sold them and just threw them around. Then, of course, we get to the Void, who would still, high caliber gun rounds and yada yada yada. Okay, Sentry also has like I said, he has vast powers, right? If you know Sentry's from the comics, like I do, you know he has energy manipulation, psionic powers, and he has matter manipulation, like molecule manipulation, and he can simulate virtually any power. In the MCU, they're probably going to tone this down a slight bit, but Sentry has telekinesis. He has powerful telepathic abilities. He seems to have some sort of energy manipulation powers, but he's not really in full control of them yet. As we saw, as he melted John Walker's gun, we saw as he melted, he began to melt Winter Soldier's vibranium arm, which we know that it took at least the combined might of Vision's Mind Stone, Thor's lightning, and Tony Stark's repulsors just to melt melt the body off of Ultron. They couldn't even finish that melt that completely. So Vibranium is very, very, I mean, being able to, and Sentry wasn't going all out. He wasn't like pouring his power into them. Sentry was holding back here. He even refused to capture them because they're no threat to him. Okay. And then there's the Void, but Sentry and the Void are kind of like one and the same. So, but we saw that Void was able to put the entire state of New York, just trap them in like a dark mental space where they were tormented by their worst memories and fears and all that. So, yeah. So that's that's pretty much. Oh, and I forgot. During the fight with John Walker, he bent John Walker's shield. Now, to be fair, I doubt that shield was made of vibranium or even adamantium that was really recently discovered. But that shield is very tough. It took explosions from Taskmaster's explosive crossbow, and we know her crossbows can overturn vehicles. So they're pretty powerful. It took high caliber rounds from machine gun fire. It was able to pierce through heavy metal, and like in the bunker, there was an exposed power cable, metal power cable in the bunker. He was able to smash it. So it's kind of like Captain America's shield. So we don't know. Like I said, I doubt that shield is made of vibranium or adamantium, but there is another substance in our world that could kind of be based off of graphene. Graphene is a metal, not a metal. It's a material that is 10 to 100. No, I believe it's 100,000 times stronger than titanium, but much less lighter. One simple a sheet of paper worth of graphene could stop an assault rifle bullet. So being able to bend something like that, and he did it effortlessly, is pretty impressive. Now, I doubt it's made of graphene, but like I said, there is like a super metal there. Like, it's stronger than any like metal that we have that we're known. So being able to build, bend again, he bent it because he didn't see them as a threat, right? So that's incredibly powerful. Like, he's up there. He definitely could bend vibranium if he had to. Okay, now it's time to get controversial. Sentry is stated to be more powerful than an entire team of Avengers, stated by Valentina and him himself, right? And statements like this is the director, the people of the movie telling you about this character. They made the character. You can't discredit that. That's like me having a dog, me naming him Rex, me telling you like he's a white and black dog. You say, no, his name isn't Rex. His name is Oreo. Look at him. That doesn't make sense. His name, when these statements are said in the movies, and it's said multiple times, this is how powerful he is, right? Now, I get this information here from Danko, so, I mean, I don't think he lied about it. I mean, he showed, like, proof, like, he showed a lot. It is said that in the Chinese marketing of the Thunderbolts movie, it's stated that Sentry is more powerful or equal to Captain Marvel, Thor, and Vision. Danko disrespected Vision by immediately forgetting to mention him, but it's so basically fighting Sentry is like fighting all three of those characters. But Danko's like fighting Sentry is like fighting Captain Marvel and Thor. I'm like, come on, G, don't disrespect Vision like that, right? But I believe that to be true because, like I said, Vision is stated to be more powerful than an entire team of Avengers, right? If you had a being with the power of Thor, a being with the power of Captain Marvel, and a being with the power of Vision, yes, that's a team that could beat just about any iteration of the MCU Avengers, right? So I have Sentry equal to those three. Sentry is stronger than Thanos, in my opinion. I know you guys aren't gonna like it, but that from now on, when I do Sentry in these battle videos, because I'm coming back to YouTube full time, so to speak. I don't get paid, but I'm ready to come back to YouTube. But I'm going to do a lot of Sentry videos and get ready for me to harp on this because, like I said, this is a statement from the people who made the actual character, put the character in the movie, right? Okay, so yeah, that's that pretty much goes to show. So, but I want to talk about one thing while I got some extra time here. Sentry being stated to be, Sentry was considered to be all powerful and invincible. And we know he has like vast telekinetic powers because we saw in his fight with Thunderbolts, he's able to move people around. He was able to, Sentry was new to his powers. like a day or two into the powers. So, and he's already on this level. Yeah, dude's a beast. And I forgot about this. Sentry survived a bomb being placed in his head. It was blown up by Valentina, and he survived that. So he has some type of healing factor, but I mean that's a bomb on his brain, which is the most delicate part. Then he transformed into the Void, so he could survive. He could survive something like that. That's pretty impressive. Hey, I doubt most of any character MCU hero could survive something like that. But okay. So, it's stated on several occasions that Sentry is more powerful than an entire group of Avengers, stated by Valentina and by, well, not multiple times, but it's stated to be by Valentina. And it's stated that Sentry had the power of a million exploding suns. He was stated to be all powerful and invincible. All right. Which group of Avengers? Because there's several iterations. There's the original Avengers, the original 12. There's Cap Avengers. The Avengers Cap formed after he fought the after the eight. Ultron was defeated. That was a team of him, Vision, Rhodey, Falcon. I believe, Rhodey, Falcon, Scarlet Witch, and Black Widow. I believe that's it. Then there was the Civil War teams. And then there was just even though this isn't really officially Avengers, it was that big group that fought at the end of Infinity War, right? But like I said, they fought Thanos in his armor. But like I said, that's more like a whole. That's not really the Avengers. But anyway, which group is he more powerful than? Well, let's go back. It was stated that Sentry had the power of MCU Vision. He had power equal to Vision, Captain Marvel, and Thor. What group can't beat? What group? Which if you had a group with that power, which team of Avengers would not be able to beat them? Let's get something out the way. In no way is Sentry beating Endgame Avengers. All the heroes who showed up at Endgame to fight Thanos. He is not beating that whole group by himself. Screw you if you think that to be so. But I believe Vision could beat all the other Avengers, all the other teams. He can definitely beat. He beats the original 12 because that team. Because the heavy hitters were Thor, Hulk, and Iron Man. Even if we give him Infinity War or Endgame armor there, him having the power of Captain Marvel basically puts him above Thor. And then him having Thor puts him above Infinity War, Iron Man, or comparable to Hulk. And having given him Vision puts him comparable to Infinity War, Iron Man. But the thing is, with having being like Captain Marvel as well, he's far stronger than Thor because Captain Marvel is far stronger than Thor. So he's stronger than the original 12. But I don't think any iteration of the Avengers could beat him. Not even the group that had Scarlet Witch and Vision and War Machine and Falcon. Yeah, because they lost Thor and Hulk. Yeah. No group of Avengers could beat him apart from all the Avengers who showed up at the final, with the final battle with Thanos. That's the only group that he absolutely can't beat on his own. Any other group of Avengers he beats, even the two Civil War sides. So yeah, that's how powerful. I just want to talk a bit about how powerful MCU Sentry was. I'm going to do multiple videos with him, so get ready for the spam. Hero 13. Thank you guys so much.